Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm CJ LeMaster, your host for the WLBT Digital News Desk update on this January 13th, also your lead investigative reporter for WLBT. I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. I got a couple of you already saying hi. We've got several of you watching right now on Facebook and on our YouTube live streaming channel here. Melissa Price saying hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Grayson Ferguson saying hello. How are you doing, Grayson? Hope you are doing well. Melissa, you too. And Britt saying hi, everyone. Britt, I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday as well. We got several stories to get to, but first we want to give you the latest here on this situation involving the largest synagogue in Mississippi, and of course the fire that was intentionally set, and the federal investigation that continues to unfold. The suspect in this case is still in the hospital with burn injuries, but the 19-year-old accused of setting fire to Jackson's Beth Israel Synagogue appeared before a federal judge yesterday. He appeared virtually from his hospital bed. Stephen Spencer Pittman is accused of setting fire to the city's only synagogue around 3 a.m. on Saturday. Now, prosecutors say that Pittman intentionally set the fire. He's been charged with federal arson, under Title 18. He could face anywhere from 5 to 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Well, they asked that he remain in custody. His attorney agreed to preliminary and detention hearings next week. While prosecutors wanted the hearings within 3 days, the defense requested more time, and that was granted. Pittman is expected to be released from the hospital Wednesday. Both hearings now scheduled for next Tuesday. Now we're getting a better picture of the timeline for Saturday's events. Evidence obtained by 3 on Your Side showing that Pittman's father pleaded for him to come home minutes before the fire was started. According to court documents, Pittman sent several text messages to his father before breaking a window at the synagogue, going inside, and setting the building on fire. Surveillance video actually shows someone in a hoodie pouring what appears to be gas all over the floor. And, excuse me, that was the wrong video there, all over the floor and furniture in the lobby area. Investigators say that Pittman used a torch lighter to start the fire and ended up setting himself on fire in the process. You can see that surveillance video here. Now, the affidavit also says Pittman left his cell phone inside. Now, Pittman confessed to his father, even laughing, saying that he finally got them. So he confessed what he did, laughed, and then said that. The father ended up contacting the FBI. In interviews, Pittman called Beth Israel a synagogue of Satan and admitted to his actions. to county investigators. That confession was supported by Life 360 data, GPS data showing Pittman's whereabouts, the text message exchange between him and his father, and burns on his body in 3 different places. Pittman charged with maliciously setting fire to a building connected to interstate commerce. At this point, federal officials have not yet charged him with a hate crime. Now, this attack has some Mississippi lawmakers reflecting on a recent trip to Israel. 5 members of the legislature traveled to the country this past September for a summit called 50 States, One Israel. They learned more about the country, its culture, and its religion. As they reflect on what they saw and heard, they say the state capitol could have a formal response to what happened at the synagogue.
Look, if we have to pass some stricter laws to make sure that these things are, that people who perpetrate these acts of hate are punished harsher, we're going to do it.
Kind of heartbreaking, because one of the things Mississippi has been good at is protecting like people and their religious freedoms and their religious rights. So we hear about these things very distant. So to hear it so close to home was a little bit jarring and shocking.
A Mississippi Israel Legislative Caucus was formed less than a year ago. At the very least, it plans to release a statement condemning the attack. A Hinds County official charged in the Jackson bribery scandal is asking a federal judge to dismiss the case against him. Hinds County District Attorney Jody Owens filed a motion in U.S. District Court citing what he calls outrageous government conduct and entrapment, and arguing the government unfairly targeted him. Owens faces 8 federal counts, including allegations he arranged meetings between developers and city officials. Owens, former Jackson Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba, and former Ward 6 Councilman Aaron Banks are scheduled to go to trial this summer, accused of accepting bribes tied to a proposed convention center hotel in Jackson. Owens also claims FBI agents lied to prosecutors and exploited his struggles with alcohol during the investigation. To read more about Owens' claims regarding the indictment, just go to our website, WLBT.com. Millions of your hard-earned tax dollars that were meant for welfare needs ended up in the pockets of people it was never intended for. One of the people accused of pocketing that money is Ted DiBiase Jr., the former pro wrestler charged with money laundering, theft, wire fraud, and conspiracy. He faces decades in prison if he's found guilty. Now, for the second week, his trial continuing in federal court. The prosecution's star witness took the stand again today, or excuse me, I should say yesterday. Our Quentin Smith was inside the courtroom. He's got more on what we learned now on day 5 of this trial.
Day 5 of this trial saw John Davis on the stand for the entire day once again. He's the former executive director of the Department of Human Services. In court, he testified that Ted DiBiase Jr. knew that he was taking money that was meant for needy families right here in the Magnolia State. Davis has already pleaded guilty in this case. In fact, he's pleaded guilty to both state and federal charges. He admitted to steering contracts to DiBiase. Here's how prosecutors say it all worked. Davis directed welfare funds to 2 nonprofits, the Family Resource Center of North Mississippi and the Mississippi Community Education Center. The groups were operated by Nancy New and Christy Webb. Both also pleaded guilty in this scandal. Prosecutors say the women gave contracts to DiBiase's companies. The prosecution maintains those were sham contracts, and DiBiase pocketed millions of dollars using that money for his own good. However, the defense continues to push back against those claims. They argue Davis is the one who manipulated the system and not DiBiase. They say their client was used as a pawn in this entire situation. Davis will be back on the stand on Tuesday. This time it's the defense's turn. They'll cross-examine him. Court is in recess until 8:45 Tuesday morning. Reporting outside the federal courthouse, I'm Quentin Smith.
Now, again, Quentin is at federal court today for day 6, and we will have the latest in our early evening newscasts at 4, starting at 4 o'clock on air and online. And for the latest news, weather, and sports, check out WLBT.com. Also, our mobile app. And of course, now at 10:30 today, our First Alert weather team will be in here to let you know what the weather is shaping up to look like on your work week as we continue. And of course, we have updates throughout the day as well. So we appreciate you watching, and we will see you back here again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. For everyone here at WLBT News, I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter, and your host for the WLBT Digital News Desk Update. Thanks for watching. We will see you again tomorrow.